presents What the Puck with Sean Baligian.
We're just hanging out in my basement. We're watching the game just like you. Hubie, Mike, Coach Hunter. I'm Sean Baligian. Fellas, weird game. Weird series. And anybody that thinks that Edmonton has taken control based on what they just did in the second period, you haven't been paying attention. I mean, honestly, that's the crazy thing about this series right now. Is the fact of the matter is you're out your mind if you think this game is over. No,
it's not over. Strange game, strange series. I think I said it right away. It started to look like game 3 in reverse, where all of a sudden we were back to the first period of game 3, where Dallas looked like they were stuck in mud, and Edmonton's just skating all over them. And they when it happens like this and Edmonton plays their game, they're too much for them.
Yes, they are.
They're proving it. They're too much for them. They're protecting, and everybody's playing. But all it takes is Nurse or Draisaitl or someone to stop playing, and it's over.
5-4 final.
Not a close. I'll take that bet.
Dallas 5-4.
I'm not saying that.
Listen. I'm not gonna go against anything after watching.
Surprised me
the way this series has gone. No way. Hubie, you just had an update. You just had an update from Saginaw as well. Is that a final yet?
Let's call timeout. Still 42 seconds left. 4-3 London, or 3-2 London. My bad.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's a late goal for the Knights up there in Saginaw for the Memorial Cup going on. All right, Blake, so you don't yell at me, okay? I'm going to read verbatim what Blake said. Hey, YouTube, make sure you go to the YouTube page and like it and subscribe to it at Unsyndicated Pod on YouTube. Subscribe to the page, all right? At Unsyndicated Pod on YouTube. That is the page. So what jumps out to you in this series other than Kelly Hrudey consistently, for those of you that have CBC, Kelly Hrudey consistently making excuses for Skinner?
Not only Skinner, but the Oilers, period. He is on the Oilers something bad. And you're going to see it here in about 15 seconds because he's going to have to say something. He's already calling it the greatest comeback ever.
It really is kind of embarrassing. Like they're so pro Edmonton. It's actually kind of funny. Hubie, we were talking about it like the other night when during the intermission when he was sitting there making excuse after excuse for Skinner. And it was funny because, like, I got the impression Bieksa was trying really hard to keep a straight face, and he wasn't doing a good job of it. He literally wasn't doing a good job of it. Skinner has been not good. There's no other way to say it.
No. Yeah. But what that game-winning goal the other day was not his fault.
What was he doing? That's the kind of thing that was driving me out of my mind. So, what has jumped out to you about this series? I tend to agree with Mike. Edmonton, in flashes, just looks a lot better than Dallas, but then they have the other flashes, in particular when they're up by 2 goals, where they look like a disaster. And meanwhile, in the East, Florida has been so much better than the Rangers, but it's been Shesterkin. He's been forget about the great equalizer. I mean, I cracked a joke last night on Twitter. I said, getting early votes in for the Conn Smythe Trophy. That's how good he's been because Florida's been all over him.
Yeah, he's been outstanding.
Yeah.
He not only that, but you've got Alexei is coming into his own.
Playing dirty.
He is coming into his own. He is playing like a high-end top 6 player. I'm not going to put him up there, but he's in the top 6. He's playing like a man possessed. Trouba is taking over for Bennett and Kachuk. He's the agitator. Everyone's on his mind. His elbows flying everywhere. Bennett, Kachuk aren't playing their game, and Barkov and Reinhart are getting outplayed. It's as simple as that. The only dog right now on the Rangers is Panarin. I mean, Trocheck and Alexei are outplaying anybody else.
It is, and it's really amazing because Florida, in my mind, should be up at least 3-1 in that series right now, if not series over. That's how good Shesterkin's been. I'm going to say it again, Mike. I'm glad that you brought it up. I don't care how many points Panarin puts up in the regular season. I think he's a dog, and I think he's proving it at the right time in the season. I'm sorry. I'm just not a big fan.
Non-existent.
Now,
This whole series, him, Zibanejad, and Kreider have done nothing. If you told me at the beginning of the series, I'm like, yeah, Rangers are down at least 3-1.
Yeah. Can you keep? They don't win this series. They don't win the cup. Can you keep Panarin? Someone will take him.
Someone will take
that
take him.
Somebody will take a flyer on him, but his stock value has gone down.
I'll keep Kreider. Kreider alone on the power play and his presence in there, he's fine. But Panarin is an absolute dog on the other side of the puck.
He's dot to dot, and he's giant circles. You know, no, what's the word I want here?
Sucks.
Now, Blake said dog is a good term in the year 2024, Sean, means that they have that dog in them. Not in hockey.
No.
Not you don't want to be a dog in hockey.
No.
I get it. Spartan dog. You got that dog in you fighting you. In the hockey world, that I think that's a never-ending thing. You don't want to be a dog. And it can mean a myriad of things, too. A lot of times it can be that dog who just stands there watching traffic, like that defenseman that's just watching life passing by on either side. You don't, trust me, you don't need to, you don't absolutely, Blake said we need to turn the TV down. Okay, I can do that. You don't want to be a dog in that regard. Trust me when I say that. All right, so what jumps out to you guys about these playoffs so far? What are you liking? Who are you liking? I think we talked about this last week, and I don't know if you guys have changed your opinion, but I think we talked about this last week. We all agreed that the West was better, and in particular, I thought Dallas was better, okay? Mm-hmm. So far in these conference finals, do you still feel that way?
I feel the same way. The only thing that I would flip is Shesterkin is so much better than Bobrovsky and is so much better than anybody else on that ice. I can see the Rangers winning that series. Here, I'm not giving anything to Skinner, Ottinger. The Oilers, when they're skating, they're going downhill. They are too much for Dallas to handle. However, every time we've seen Edmonton do this, Dallas has bounced back. They've got something that they're going to do here. They're going to try to stretch it because right now you want to talk dog. The Dallas defense is dog. They're not moving that puck forward because of the pressure. A lot of it is. I'll give Edmonton some credit. They've got to flip it out, and they're not regaining possession of that in the neutral zone. No. So the puck goes right over. They're losing possession of the puck. But I can't give it to the Oilers. I still think it's Dallas not.
No, I feel the same way. Gordy said no Oiler lead is safe. That is absolutely, positively 1,000%. I've seen it too many times. It's this whole playoff. It seems like they have led the world in blowing 2-goal leads. It's incredible. The whole damn playoff. It's incredible.
It's amazing.
And we'll be sitting here because when it rains, it pours. It's going to come again. All it's going to take is one, a quick one by Robertson, a little Stankoven.
Nope, that's exactly. How about Jordan Young joining in? Jordan, I think we're going to hear more from Jordan in a couple of days, as a matter of fact. But Jordan said, "Is that Don Cherry on the right? Where's his suit?" Maybe is he meaning this guy? You remember this guy, Jordan?
My right or your right?
I'm guessing. I'm
It's
guessing
it's
you.
either Hubie or Grandpa.
I'm guessing you. So that could be the situation. All right. So some things that we're throwing out there. This was Mike's idea. So we have some conversations while we're doing this, right? And we were going to have some fun tonight and pick your brain. Not only about what you're seeing in the conference finals and everything, but Mike, I'm going to let you present it. No, you go right ahead.
All right. I'm so social media savvy. I came across the post that had the list of the top 10 greatest NHL players that hadn't made the playoffs. Hadn't won the cup.
Yeah,
The cup.
Hadn't won the cup. So I posed it to Sean in the form of forward, defense, goalie, and a coach. So it's starting to light up now. Say we were getting crickets in comments before, but in comments, throw out there, who is your top forward, defenseman, goalie, or coach that has never won the cup? And give us a little reasoning behind it if you can. When I was doing my research, everything always pointed to the top points guys. The coach with the most wins. The player with the most points. There was not a lot of defense out there. Me and you are stuck on the same defenseman. There was another one.
I think that's just the right choice.
We'll
reveal it.
That defenseman could come out as the best player.
Yep, absolutely.
The goalie with the most wins, coach. That's it. When I looked at it, when I did my list, I just did the eyeball test. What do I think? Who's the best player? And there's not one player that I'm going to mention that you haven't heard me talk about before on the show. I brought these guys up because in my eyes, these are top end players. And when they haven't won the cup, it kind of sticks out, right?
Mm-hmm. By the way, a couple comments before we get to that. We start the debate before the third period starts, and we'd love to hear from you guys as well. Matt said on Twitter, I hate Edmonton. I don't want to see Holland have any success after the way he left the Wings in bad shape. I think part of that. I think part of that was the late owner's desire to keep that streak going.
Yes.
I think part of that. I'm not going to let him off the hook completely, but I think part of that was the late owner's desire to keep that streak alive.
I think that last couple of years that became glaringly obvious.
Blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
Dusty said shots tonight. You know what it was? It was like streaky because wasn't it 7-1 at one point in time? And then
5-1.
Yeah, something like that. And then
Oilers got the shot from outside the blue line, made it 5-2. Then after that,
Edmonton just went all over them. Mike, how about this? This is one up your alley. GW said, "What's the in-game money line on the Stars?" Looked at. Tim said Don Cherry is still alive. He is 90 years old.
I'll give you like 5-1.
He's still putting content out there, not as much as he used to, but he's still putting some content out there on his podcast and everything. So yeah, 90 years old.
8-1.
8-1. All right. What would you do? Would you take Dallas?
I wouldn't take Edmonton. They're a minus 1,600.
At 8-1? Yeah, I'd take Dallas. I'd take Dallas.
You took Dallas, didn't you?
I can't get shit.
All right. So,
by the way, London won 4-2.
4-2. Empty netter? Wow. Knights are a machine. They were the favorite going in, and everybody sees why.
Well,
look at that. Minnesota won, huh?
How about that?
Look at that.
We got crickets going here. So, Hubie, let's start with your forward.
Oh,
I have two.
What do you mean? Oh God!
I'll go first.
Yeah,
I'll go
ahead.
first. I'm stuck between Dale Howardchuk, who, in all honesty, I didn't see as much as I saw this other guy. But Peter Stastny was unbelievable. I don't think Peter Stastny gets the credit that he deserves. You know what? I'll go with Stastny. How's that?
So,
I'll go with Stastny.
So the hop off, because we always get on this one.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that don't get enough credit, and you bring up Stastny, you say you don't think he gets enough credit. How about Michel Goulet?
tremendous.
No credit
No,
whatsoever.
it's amazing.
No credit
It's amazing.
whatsoever. But we'll stay focused. All right. So we've got Stastny and Howard-Chuck.
Yep.
Okay. Howard-Chuck I seen on a few of the lists. Stastny was down the list, but he was definitely mentioned in there.
Marcel.
Yeah, you can't.
I think he was number one on all of them, and it's the points. It's who he was early.
It's so hard for me because you know how I am. Like I'm a stickler for. I want to talk about the guys that I saw, and the Marcel Dion that I saw was the short, fat guy.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it was like, what was that NHL game we all played on video where they had the skinny guy, the short, and fat guy?
You had the fat. Then you had the fat guy had the shot.
Yeah.
Check, and the skinny guy was fast.
He could fly. Which
Blades of
hockey game
Glory?
was that? No, not Blades. It was Nintendo hockey, wasn't it? Wasn't it just? I think it was
Or
Nintendo
ColecoVision.
hockey. Yeah, whatever. But like the Marcel Dion that I saw was like the short, fat guy. He really was. I mean, his last few years, I didn't see him in his prime, so to speak. I saw I remember the tail end of the Triple Crown line, just the tail end of the
And
Triple.
you know mine. Other than remembering chorizo, I don't remember anything.
He did remember chorizo. He really did.
I nailed it. Do you know?
Yeah, pretty hard to argue.
Yeah,
with
you
Dino.
can't argue. Can't argue.
He's another guy. He doesn't. I think he's chronically underrated. I think he's chronically underrated.
Wendell Clark.
I
mean,
He's a good player.
I just
I mean,
that style.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You like the style. You like the
Absolutely.
100%. 100%.
Who else did we
Grant?
say earlier? Gilbert Perreault.
Oh, well, see, now you're going into your days.
See, yeah, my days are a lot different than
Okay.
your guys' days.
I do remember. I think Perreault retired in '87, so I remember him for a few years.
See, I remember Marcel Dion when he played for the Wings,
Okay.
and then he went to the short fat guy in L.A.
Yeah.
But Marcel Dion was
The bright spot in an awful organization.
exactly,
Yeah.
and being the little guy that the backbone.
Jumbo Joe on that list.
So yes. So I was between Bure and Jumbo. And I just can't get out of that. We've had this discussion. I asked Mamesso about Pavel Bure, and he was talking about how good he was, and you didn't see the half of it. And I think he's one of the best ever to lace him up.
He just exciting. Just exciting.
Yeah.
So I went with Bure as the best forward to never win.
He's another what if. Like he honestly is. He's another what if. So I mean, that's the crazy thing. There are a ton. If like I took the time to like look up a list and all that, there are a ton of guys that. Another guy I know you and I talked about, Mike Gartner.
Yep. Another underappreciated.
Nobody talks about Mike Gartner. The dude just lit it up.
500 some goals.
Yeah.
Oh, he had more than that, didn't he?
Yeah, wasn't he over
I was
700?
going to say 700. Yeah, I was
Now
gonna say
I'm going to
700.
look it up. I think he was over 700. And I was joking because I think were we talking to Chris Nyland about it, that All-Star game where he scored 788 goals in that All-Star game, and it was like I remember watching that game going, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm never watching an All-Star game again, and I never did. It's
Best porn stash ever too.
Oh, he really did. Oh, he really did. That was a tremendous. Now I got to look and see how many goals he scored because it's going to drive me out of my mind.
715.
I know it's 700.
We looked it up.
738.
708. 708.
Oh.
All right, so third period is underway.
Oh, he's got to be just going porn stash.
Oh, for porn stash?
Laney
Yeah,
McDonald. Laney McDonald had a dirty stash.
But I thought you were going to talk about him winning the cup.
No,
I don't want to hear about
I didn't
that.
say anything. I said he's got a nasty stash. Oh, game over almost there.
Damn last game.
Nurse can't get it out.
That
All right.
3-2. Gosh, damn, it's 35 years ago, and I still just that one. Yeah, Grapes does a podcast still with his kids. Yep, he does.
It's a good one.
Paul Correa. That's a damn
very
good one, Blake.
Very good one. He's still knocked out from Stevens.
David said Lundqvist between the pipes.
Okay, so let's hop there.
You guys know who
Now-
I'm going to say, so you all go
that was
first.
my-
Lundqvist is also the best looking,
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that.
handsome individual.
Handsome and all.
So yeah, that's what Gramps had. Gramps had Lundqvist.
I'm a Lundqvist too.
Lundqvist. Price.
Carey Price.
I'm going Cujo. I was Lundqvist, Cujo, and I don't know if it's Cujo played in a division that those type more played with the Wings and played with the Wings.
Right.
So you seen a lot more of
Sure.
him that I ran with him over Lundqvist, but you can't deny I was looking up some of Lundqvist's stats. 7 straight 31 seasons.
You know what I would say? This is what I would say about Cujo. Like, I remember when he was with the Blues,
Yep.
he was insane.
Yeah.
Like, he almost single-handedly beat that Leaf team that particular year. Was it 93? He was insane. He and Potvin going back to back. And then he had some good years with the Oilers, too.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
people forget. Unfortunately, the guy that we saw here was prone to give up that soft serve goal.
He was.
He wasn't awful,
No.
but I remember, was it the Calgary series in particular? It was just like every game it seemed like he gave up just that. How did you let that one in goal? And his numbers weren't bad,
No.
but you're like, I remember doing the ice time shows and going, okay, it's like he's got to give up one soft serve goal every night, like one soft serve goal every night, you know?
And the playoffs that'll haunt you more than ever.
It was like, was it 03 when they lost to Anaheim? Was that the year they lost to Anaheim?
Yeah.
I mean, he only had his goals against was like a 1, a little over a 1, but we couldn't score.
Yeah. Cujo is back up. Sorry, Sean. No, you don't have to. Dustin said Felix Potvin,
Yep.
but he was so good with the Leafs. Those two really good Leaf teams, man. He was so good. I'm going to make the case for Carey, of course. Obviously, you know, him coming in as a 20-year-old and doing what he did. And then if you remember, he kind of had that up and down period where Halak replaced him. But there was a period, I would say maybe 2-3 years, where in my mind, he was the undisputed best goalie in the world. And remember the Olympics? I mean, now granted, with that defense score, I might have had a 1 goal against. Any one of us might have had a 1 goal against. But he was so damn good, like that 14 run until Kreider took his knee out. And then, quite frankly, I have to bring it up again, even though clearly he fell out of bed and banged his head and he thought it was 2014 again. He was unbelievable. Carey Price was unbelievable. How that team went to the Stanley Cup Finals still is unbelievable to me. Yeah, just unbelievable to me. Tim said, "Didn't Keith Gabe hate Curtis Joseph?" I don't remember that. I can ask Keith. I don't remember that one though. I don't remember that one. So what do we? You went with
I went with
Cujo, and both of you guys went with Henrik.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue too much with any of you.
No,
I'm just
No.
not.
no. There's nothing out. Jesus Lord Heaven, out of the box there.
No.
There's no hot takes there.
Defenseman Mike and I both. Bill Housley.
Yeah.
Another chronically underrated. Forget about not winning a cup. I think he's a chronically underrated player, like horribly underrated. And a big part of it is Phil Housley just always seemed to play for crappy teams.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we're talking about a best defenseman to not win the cup. He could be mentioned in best player overall to not
absolutely
to win the cup. He could be mentioned in one of the top offensive defensemen ever.
Mm-hmm.
And so on down there. But again, he's on that list. We every time we go down talking about players, we bring up the underappreciated, and he would be in the top 5. He'd be a starting defenseman in the most underrated players.
Yeah. Mark Howe, that's a damn good suggestion. Mark Howe was a hell of a player. I don't think people the younger generation, David, I don't think the younger generation understands how good of a player Mark Howe was. And he really, truly was. Mark Howe was one jump out to you guys?
The Housley one, but I can't take credit for that one. You
No,
guys.
I'm with I mean, I couldn't
He's
really-
on all the lists.
Brad Park, heck of a player.
Yeah.
Heck of a player.
On all the lists.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because Boston never won.
Yeah.
With him on it.
Somebody said best plus minus ever, Larry Robinson. It is.
Is it?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Larry Robinson. I forget what the number is. It's something insane. It's you know
I
what?
know
Now,
Lidstrom
Now
led
you
the
gotta have
league
it.
for a while.
you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Lidstrom led
for
the
a
league
second.
plus minus for a while, I think. In a couple of them seasons when they were playing well.
All right. So the only one we have Mark Howe and Brad Park came up there. Here's a bad question from Chris Blackburn. Best Red Wing not to win a cup. We'll get to that. Sit on that.
Yeah, Larry Robinson, 722. the next closest, Bobby Orr, 582.
That's not. But let's finish up this with best coach. Best coach to never win a cup. Cubes.
I got one in mind. I got one in mind.
Oh, you said it earlier, Mike.
Go.
Yeah, other than that, I couldn't really think of anybody else but Pat Quinn.
Pat Quinn.
That
was
yeah.
that was
my guy.
I was sitting between Quinn and my newfound love of Paul Maurice.
That could
Like
happen.
he's
We'll
one
see.
that like you know me, you know my memory. So things I don't retain things. I don't, but I know things, if that makes sense. Like I know Maurice has been around. I know he's done some things.
How many different teams he's taken?
Yes.
On the cup?
He's done a great job with several other teams. But then you look down and it's what 700 wins. I mean, he's got a massive amount of wins, taking teams to the cups, and you start remembering a little more. And I'm like, all right. And I think he's really flourishing right now with the team he has and with the role he's taking on that team. So I was going with him over Pat Quinn. But I mean, again, can you go wrong?
Pat Quinn always had good teams. Like it just saying there were a couple. I think when he was in Vancouver, there were a couple shit storms. But
Yeah, there's gonna be.
yeah, Pat Quinn it seemed like they always had good teams, and I kind of like the style that his teams played as well. So that has something to do with it.
I'm not quite sure.
I don't know what that means.
Keegan Bradley?
Oh, Mike Keenan. Well, he
Yeah, he
won
won
in
a cup.
94.
Yeah.
He said or won a cup. No, somebody had said to him, the best plus minus ever. And I said Larry Robinson, and Bobby Orr was second, like 140 behind him. I mean, that was so sorry. That was kind of on me to change topics. I want to get to Chris's question.
Yes.
Here's a bad question. Best Red Wing not to win a cup. It's got to be Marcel, right?
Marcel.
It's got to be Marcel.
Yeah.
Can you think of anybody else?
No.
I mean, Dino wasn't here long enough,
Right.
and he wasn't like Dino anymore either. He wasn't like crazy scoring Dino anymore. But it's got to be Marcel Dion, right?
It's got to be, right?
It's Marcel Dion.
Would you throw Adam Oates in there?
Heck of a player.
Or
Heck of
did
a
he,
player.
did he
No, he never won a
become-
cup.
but did he become the better player after he left Detroit?
He became a better player after he left Detroit for sure. I mean, he wasn't a bad player here,
No.
but I mean, when he went with Hull, that was like next level.
Yeah.
That was just what did Hull score that year? 86. Because I remember there was a little while I'm going, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
he
he's
might
gonna
get.
catch Gretzky.
I think
What
I guess-
Gretzky have
92?
92?
92. Yeah, I think Hull had 86 that
Yeah,
year.
I think it was.
I thi-
You are correct.
Yeah. I always have to look up just to
Tim
fact check
dropped
myself.
dropped Adam Oates on that one too. I think so. Chris, did you want to answer your own question?
Yeah, is there one that jumps out to you
Oh.
for sure? Boy, if this game stays 4-2, my jaw will drop. I'm not even being funny. Yeah, he scored 86 and 45 and 91. Me and my mouth, huh?
Yeah. They're just not getting anything inside. The Oilers are playing their game right now.
Yep.
The Oilers are playing their game. How's that not a penalty?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That's what,
And
that's what I owed
and
about it.
it's a dive. They're
Yeah.
giving him a dive. 2-2. 2-2 for the
Sagan
dive.
Just hit his glove.
Johnny O.
Boy, Johnny O was a good player, though.
Yeah.
That was another one. It was just an era that, like, in all
The wrong
honesty,
time.
oh yeah, what a horrible era. I mean, it really truly
he
was. It was just
He had 50 goals, what, twice? Here?
I know he had 55 the one year, right?
Yeah.
He had 55 the one year. So, yeah. And then Mickey, of course, won a cup with Montreal.
Yeah.
Mickey won a cup with Montreal. I think he was on two different teams, but he only played a couple games or something like that. So that's the way it goes. But yeah, it just some interesting conversation about stuff like that, and that's the thing about the game of hockey is I think even for a guy like Mike who has like a terrible memory, I think you'd be the first guy to say.
I have zero recall.
But some of the stuff that like we remember from when we were kids, I mean, it just stuck with us about this game of hockey, man. And that's the beauty of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I again with my memory, but I remember. If you can correct me on this because I do. My memory does play tricks on me. Nystrom's goal to win, right?
1980.
1980. Was that an afternoon game?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. So I remember being in the afternoon, and I had this memory of running outside into my front yard after that goal. Why I was so excited, I don't know. But again, as a kid, an overtime winning goal. But I remember that being in the afternoon. So little things like that.
I think
that's part of
2
us.
years in a row, the Cup was won in the afternoon because the year before, when the Habs beat the Rangers, that was an afternoon game, a Sunday afternoon game. And the Habs beat the Rangers, and then everybody retired. And then in 80, it was an afternoon game as well. So I think 2 years in a row, they were afternoon games. David said, Johnny O slap shot, top of the circle, almost automatic. Yeah, that 1 year,
Ooh,
people forget.
He's getting there.
Poppy is the greatest to not win a cup.
I'm not as much as a hockey nerd as you guys.
Tim said Mickey was Scotty Bowman. I think it was Claude Ruel. I think that was the coach. Now let me fact check myself, but I believe that was Claude Ruel because they would have won 5 in a row if not for the Leafs upsetting them in 67. Because they won 65, 66, then lost to the Leafs in 67. 68, 69, then went 71, 73, 76, 77, 78, 79.
This is a guy, Rain Man.
Sorry.
But we want to.
You don't have to fact check that.
No, Wapner comes on at 4.
Yeah,
Wapner,
I'm a real good driver. Chris, we want to thank you for your comments, saying he listens to us to get some hockey knowledge, but give yourself some credit. You knew that you wanted to listen to us because of hockey, because you like hockey. You're a hockey fan. Give yourself some more credit.
Claude Ruel, by the way. I was correct. Claude Ruel was the coach. Scotty was with St. Louis, and then Scotty came over from St. Louis and had all the success in the 70s with the Habs. And then he retired like right after they won the Cup in 79 and went to Buffalo. He went to Buffalo after that. And Tony said 1967 bitches. That's just isn't that funny though? I mean, think about it. When we were kids, like 30 years ago, all we heard was 1940. Remember the Islander fans would chant 1940? I mean, that's 54 years.
Yeah.
That's 54 years.
Yeah.
Well, do the math now. Do the math now for the Leafs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible when you think about it. It's longer now. I mean, it is. It's 57 years now. Well, who's kidding who? I mean, the Habs are coming up on 31 years. I mean, 31 years without a Canadian team winning the freaking
that
Stanley
right
Cup.
there is insane.
That's crazy.
That is insane. That is insane.
There were a couple close calls. Vancouver twice took it to Game 7. You know, if you remember in '94. Yeah, Calgary. That was another close one against Tampa.
They came close at home and
They won that game.
That game was won.
They won that game. And they won that game, and I'll never effing forget that because I had a monster fucking future ticket on them. It was unbelievable. It was one of those that the wires crossed so much, and I couldn't do anything. You ever get that where like I could have broke the I couldn't do anything.
Lawrence Speroni in the Giants Patriots Super Bowl game had an 8 prop bet parlay. He was the last of it. First pass he catches would be over 3 yards. He caught a screen pass, nobody around, dropped it.
Yeah,
He threw the pass, and I'm like standing up going,
see,
$30,000.
well, I would tell you what,
$30K. I would have won $30K.
if he caught it and then tripped and got 2.5 yards and you lost, you could put like that goal was in. That was a goal. That game was over.
Do you know the last? Have I told you guys this? You probably know this. The last true meltdown I had over a sporting event. This, honest to God, it's been 20 years since I had one of my meltdowns. All right. It was the first round, the Habs and Bruins. Do you remember when Kovalev took the slash to the hand and he completely quit on the play?
Yeah.
In overtime.
Goal.
Completely quit on the play. Bruins went the other way, scored and won the game to go up 3-1 in the series. I lost my shit. Like, I'm not like I lost and like my history with Alexei Kovalev is a very complicated one.
There's a dog.
But in that moment, like, and my son's watching the game with me, and like I totally forgot. You know, you're so mad you forgot that you're like your little boy is sitting there. I mean, he's 4 years old. I picked up the couch and flipped it upside down. I'm firing shit, and he's just sitting in the corner of the room like this, and I'm going, Daddy's just playing. I'm just playing. I'm going to go for a walk now. I was so mad. I went on the lawn, and I was ripping up chunks of grass because like I couldn't think, you know, because I very quickly I had to go, Daddy's playing. See, I'm not mad, and he's kind of going, you know, he's 4. He doesn't know what Daddy's going to go for a walk now. I went on my hands and knees in my front yard, and I was ripping out clumps of grass. I was so angry. And then I was like, you can't do this anymore, dude. You know, you got a little kid at home watching you do this shit. Like, you can't. Honest to God, I have not had a meltdown since. That's my last meltdown.
Oh, I remember that because I was sitting there. I messaged him. I go, hey, you all right? I didn't hear back for a while.
Yeah,
I think you might have seen that. I'd have just died.
Oh, I couldn't speak. I was so angry. I'll never forget. Like, if you look it up, and then I fell madly in love with Kovalev. That's the worst part. I fell madly in love with Kovalev.
So good.
Like, watching that guy play every game in that 07-08 season, he just did something every night. He did something every night.
Jarred by Blake.
What is that?
Oh, I owe money to the jar. I started with F-bomb and then I actually dropped one.
I don't know. Blake had the jar last night a couple times.
Did he really?
Oh yeah. I commented. I said jar.
Blake, did I miss that? Oh my goodness, I must have missed that.
Oh, I caught him.
This power play is so good. It's unbelievable.
I still remember I was working at the bar during the 95 finals. And the crazy thing about that, and I don't know if we've ever talked about it, like Hunter, Hubie, we've ever talked about it. I know Mike and I did. The crazy thing about that Stanley Cup final, the Wings finally made it, you know, first time in the final since 1966, looking to win their first cup since 55, right? And it was over like that. Like that series was just over like that. It was insane. And I remember I was working at a bar the night of Game 4, and all these guys are going, the Wings are coming back, man. Tonight is the start. We're going to win 4 straight. And I'm just going, this series is over. What the hell are you talking about? I'm not joking. There was a group of guys there watching the game at the bar, which to me is like the last place I want to be. No disrespect to some of our fine bar owners. I bet them all $10. There's probably like 12 guys there. And I bet them all $10. I'll take anything. Forget about winning the series. Because they said to me, they were like, I'll bet you Wings are going to come back and win the series. They go, I'll bet you tonight. This like if you aren't watching this series, if you think they're going to come out in game 4 and give anything, their soul was taken from them by number 3 that series. I mean, it really was. Scott Stevens collectively took their entire soul. It was insane. Blake said, I let it fly, baby. Tony said, I broke the TV after the block punt versus MSU. That probably for a lot of people, I can't imagine having the shoe on the other foot. Because I like, honestly, how do you make sense of that? Like, how do you make sense of that?
I literally sat there and was like, I was a dumb phone. Look at my face. That
Did
just
I
happened?
did I just see what just happened?
Exactly.
Let's
It
call
was
it
bad. I was just like,
Let's call it what it was. I said it then. I say it now. It's one of the luckiest plays I've ever seen. I'm not going to apologize for it. I was happy as a pig in crap, Blake, that that Michigan State ended up winning the Big Ten title that year. But
On that play.
let's call it what it was. It was a damn lucky play, man. No other way to say that, you know. Blake said, "Don't even start that conversation." I didn't, Blake.
That's
Here
all
we
caps.
go.
Tony
I
did.
can see it from here. It's all
Blame
caps.
Tony. He's a Michigan fan. Well, when I was younger, Mike can attest to this. I was known. I would take the long drive. Sometimes after a game in the playoffs, it was best for me to leave the house because I was afraid something bad was going to happen in my mother's house. And I didn't. You remember I would take those long drives.
You had the one. Do you remember what I used to do? See if you can guess. If you remember, if you get this one, because I don't think it was that big of a deal. I would go get a huge extra cage of crushed pizza, and I'd crush it.
That's good.
And I'd crush it.
See, mine was I'd
Harder, more.
get a pop and a bag of chips and go for a long drive with the radio blasting.
That's it.
Just then you come home and everything's fine.
I was really like in late teens and early 20s. I was like, if I don't leave the house, I'm going to do something bad to my mom's house. Like if it's your own house, who gives a shit? I'll flip couches and all that. Well, not anymore because I scared the shit out of my kid, Jar.
Yeah.
But Tim said, I was just the opposite of those guys at the bar. All I needed to see was game 1. And I knew how 2, 3, and 4 were going to go. See, I'm with you, Tim. That was hope against hope. I would say for me, after the Wings lost the first 2 games, is when, like, I was like, okay, this series is over. The question was, are they going to find a way to win 1 game? Like that was the question to me. But
That was the thing.
they weren't beating
You
Jersey.
didn't want them to get swept. You want them to at least win 1 game, but
Yeah. Tim said 2015 didn't bother me that much until that punt attempt. MSU was passing that game away. Dustin said, I'm surprised you guys can carry a conversation not related to the game. Pros. That's amazing how that works. But isn't that what like people do when you're watching the game? I mean, to me, that's half the fun of doing this is just bull crapping about old hockey memories and things like
You're
that.
not really missing much here.
No,
Edmonton's just down. I mean, Dallas can't do anything.
No,
They haven't done anything since the second goal. I'm just gonna
You're
put that out.
absolutely right. You're absolutely
A
right.
couple
they
chances
almost
here,
got that one right after I made it 3, but other than that,
Yeah, Sagan got his block shot right back and threw it back out.
Brett said, I'm a bit late to the stream tonight. A player like that nobody ever brings up is Mike Gartner. Is he the forgotten guy nowadays?
yeah.
We did bring him up, Brett, but you're absolute 708 goals, man. I mean, the most quiet 700 goal scorer in the history of mankind. And he's another guy. I think a lot of it is because he never really sniffed a cup. You know who else was money? I'm going to say it again. And everybody remembers him maybe for the crazy things he did. Tell me you wouldn't go to war with Dale Hunter. I love Dale. Seriously, Dale, shout out. Best of luck to you and the Knights. I got to know the guy, but he was one of those guys, like when he was playing in particular for Quebec, you were like, that son of a gun is going to hurt you. You knew he was going to hurt you, you know?
Perry Turgeon knows that one.
Yeah.
You always had to know where he was on the ice at all times.
Yep.
Blake said, Sean, did you smoke that crow? Was I supposed to smoke a crow? I would smoke a crow. I mean, you put a little tenderizer on it. Mike used some of that. What's the kickin' chicken?
Kicking chicken.
What's the one that Chicka Bam Bam?
I bet. Now you know what we had tonight. We just went sausage fest tonight. Like seriously, we just went. We had andouille, chorizo, and cheddar brats. That was. Blake said the one you're going to have to eat if this goes past 5 games. Oh,
yeah, he
well played.
He brought that up last night. He brought that up.
Well,
that is a done deal. This is going past
this
5 games.
this game's over. This
Yeah.
game was over 10 minutes ago.
You just beat me to it. This is a game. If I'm not sitting on this couch, my TV's already off and I'm already asleep. Easily 10 minutes ago.
Easily.
The rating's been on the wall.
Easily.
Yeah.
Tony said, tell Blake to go watch a movie. Oh, we're doing that this summer. Oh, don't you? One day, like in the middle of the summer when there's nothing going on, you're going to see this dumb stream come on and you're going to watch Blake's dumb face watch good movies. And he's going to go, I can't believe I never saw this movie. Hours, Blake. Get used to it. Tell your wife you're going over to Uncle Sean's house all day and he's going to feed you all day.
Feed with Miss McGill.
Yep. David said, is there another hockey organization that has been blessed with better announcers and color guys? My favorite, Bruce Martin and Sid Abel on the radio. What a pairing. My gosh. I still hear clips of Sid Abel, and honest to goodness, it reminds me of, again, we grew up in an era for you younger guys. Not every game was on TV. You know, so yeah, there were times.
Most of them weren't.
Yeah. I mean, transistor radio was huge. It was absolutely huge. Just want to see the look on your buddies' faces. Mention the name Bernie Federico. Poor Bernie. And he was he was a good player, but when they made that trade, it was over. It was over.
Yeah, he was done.
Gosh darn. Has Blake seen Slapshot? No, he is not. He's going to this summer. Yes.
I'll bring it out to your house, Blake. Give me directions.
No, you need to come over. I'm going to have a big barbecue in the summertime. Nick said past sports combined with 50 gave me most games mid-80s. The Razor. Yeah. Ray Lane. Remember the Razor?
Lane. Yeah.
Razor worked so many of those games.
Like Bruce Martin and Bud Lynch.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. No, we've been blessed with pretty darn good broadcasters around here.
Ernie Harwell.
Jeez, oh Pete. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting because I'll tell you what, if I'm Edmonton right now, I just got it. Not that they didn't already have it, but you want to talk about a jolt of confidence now. It's turning this into a best of 3. And quite frankly, if we're being honest, empty netter, if we're being honest, they've outplayed them, at least these games in Edmonton, to be sure. They really have. They've outplayed them.
Yeah, they get that home crowd, that little bit more of a.
This has been an ass kicking since about what they score about 7 minutes into the first period.
Yep.
It's been an ass kicking since then.
Absolutely has. Absolutely was. I think Ozzy in the booth is really good, especially talking with Mickey. Nick, I couldn't agree with you more. And I remember talking to Chris about this, and I hope that Chris doesn't mind me saying this. Chris is one of the most funny, personable guys ever. And I remember talking to him like shortly after he started. And like I told him, I said, dude, just be you. People love you. Like, honestly, you got a great personality. He's got a really good hockey mind. I think that anybody can tell. I thoroughly enjoy Chris's work. I'm biased, but I I thoroughly enjoy what Chris does. There's no two ways about that. Tim said, if anything, Blake has to see Slapshot for the Hansons' first shift. Blake, just get ready. Your world's going to change, young man. I think that might be number one on the list. That might be number one on the list. All right. So do you guys want to change? Do you guys want to change your feeling with this one? Now a best of three, like Rangers,
No.
Florida.
Let's go back. Well, my prediction was Dallas in 7.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah,
I
I
had
said-
Dallas in 5, but I'm sticking with Dallas.
I
So
said
am I.
Dallas. I had Dallas in 6.
I just can't give Skinner the series. I
And
can't.
That's it. I mean, except
Really, that is it.
That is 100% it, because that's where it's going to go.
Rangers, Florida. Any opinion change there?
Nope. Still taking Florida.
I don't feel as strongly about it, but I'm still taking
Yeah.
Florida.
I'm with you on that one.
Shesterkin scares
You
the
got- You got
crap
the
out
X
of me.
factor in that.
Yep.
I think I said 6. I'll just change to 7. I think both are going 7.
Okay.
I think they are very, very evenly matched across the board in both these series.
Did you watching that third period late in the game? I don't know if you were up or you were sleeping.
You were still talking to us.
Wow.
No, I think you were
I don't
still
know.
talking to us.
I-
weren't
wait,
you?
wait, time out. Which game were we talking about last
Rangers.
night? Did the game go into overtime?
Yeah. the game
Yeah, I
was
watched all the way to the end of the third period.
Yeah, because I even I made a comment. I go, Mike's fast asleep, and he's like, no, I'm not. Like,
did you expect it, like in the last minutes, or did you expect the Rangers to score?
Last night,
Yeah, last few minutes of the third period. Like the one time Rumpy came down, I go, watch this. Rumpy's going to score, and the media is just going to go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
oh, that would have been the end all. At least we would have stopped hearing about Kreider.
Yeah.
Brett said the announcers they couldn't stand were the Channel 50 Detroit announcers back in the 80s. Dave Strader made me listen to the radio. I didn't mind Mickey Redmond. Dave,
I like Dave Strader.
Dave was all right with me. He was all right with
yeah.
me. He didn't, it was just weird because I know Mike and I have talked about it a few times before. Like for us, I mean, people don't get this. I tell my kid this all the time. It was like when Sports Channel America had a random game on Tuesday night, it was a holiday. It really was.
Oh,
It was like, okay, Mike, let's go over your house. Let's get enough food for 30 people and you and I will eat it. And he's $1.45 at the time and I'm $1.60 at the time, and we're eating 500 pounds of food. And like my kid kind of would give me looks like, and I was like, we just didn't have that. Occasionally CBC had the doubleheader back then. It's not like it was today.
Not very often.
And then they would have a Wednesday night game. They'd have a Wednesday night game occasionally. But other than that, we just didn't get a lot of games.
USA
Check.
Network would have the Rangers.
Check game.
Yes.
Check game 6 tickets now.
Oh, yeah, I should
Oh,
do that
yeah,
right
yeah.
now. Oh, I bet they skyrocketed. Oh,
That
my
was
gosh.
it was 184.
It was
184.
184. So I'm going to look that up. We were looking in StubHub to see how much the tickets were like for Edmonton games. So now I'm going to look right now. Did we have enough time? Let's see. Here it is. Dallas Stars at Edmonton Oilers.
It's still
Game
listed
6
if
if
necessary.
necessary. It is necessary. Continue. It went up to 201.
Okay, so they're only up
Yeah, it
four.
only went up
It'll go-
$17.
It'll go up more. You watch.
Yeah,
It-
Give it a little. Wait till tomorrow.
wait till Edmonton wins game 5.
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, could you imagine? I don't even want to think about this. So, hey, Blake, tell me if I get this right. Tomorrow, Shep and I are doing a show at 5:30. We're doing another one of our WDFN look backs. We are doing it with one of my favorites, our program director, Rona. So I'm really looking forward to that. Rona's got an interesting perspective because she started early in the process, and then she was our boss when they basically pulled the plug on us, which, was not only devastating for us, but I think for a lot of fans out there as well. And then we have a new show coming up Friday. All right. 8:00 at night. We have a new show coming up on Friday. All right. Anything else, boys, before we get out of here? Let me get to a couple.
One quick, your commentator, your sports broadcast. Who are the guys that did the Tigers?
Riz and Rathman.
Yes.
Do you remember those guys?
I did, and I could not stand
It
it.
was
neither of that.
awful.
I could
It
not.
was
oh.
awful. It was. Chris said I listened because of Sean. He's the best in town. Period. Man, that's nice. Thank you. That's very, very nice. I'm biased. He's my friend. I openly admit it. I thought Shep got a bum rap. I thought Shep was really good at calling games. I'm biased. I openly admit it. He's my friend. We're doing a show tomorrow. I thought Shep got a bum rap.
I agree. I used to love listening to the Tigers.
Yeah, no doubt. Chris, Blake, Sean didn't hate on 13 or 71 tonight. Do you remember the Pavel Datsyuk thing? You do, right? Hunter, do you know this?
No.
So we were having look at Jonathan Kidd joined us. What up, kid? Kid, you're gonna have to come over sometime. Oh, look at Tim going way back. Peter Puck, Brian McFarland.
Sunday night or
Kid,
Saturday night.
Kid, come over sometime.
That
Seriously,
was a highlight
open
of
invite.
hockey night in Canada.
It was
Peter
unbelievable. So many years ago, you know how Blake is doing the I hate Dylan Larkin thing?
Puck. Oh yeah.
Because I have the audacity to say that Dylan Larkin's good.
Yeah.
All right, so you know that bit.
Well, it's coming from Blake though.
We were having a conversation. I don't exactly remember what the conversation had to do with Pavel Datsyuk, but no, you know what? It was about Hank, because I really liked Hank's game, and our producer Marty loved Pavel, and so we would have back and forths about it. And never said anything derogatory about Pavel Datsyuk. How could you? And so I said to Marty, I go, Marty, it's not like I said Pavel Datsyuk's not good, right? She edited it, and so she took out the one little part, and so it's Marty, Pavel Datsyuk's not good, and she played that drop ad nauseum. So legitimately, people would hear that and think that I said it. Do you know how much shit I got for that? It was unbelievable, and I was like, "You understand? I never said that, right? I never ever said that." And Marty, weasel, being the weasel she was like, "Oh yes, you did, because here's the drop," and she'd play the drop. I don't take myself seriously, so but no, legitimately, people like years later, people would call in and go, "Well, I can't listen to you because you said Pavel Datsyuk's not good." Okay, sounds good. All right. Blake says he does hate Larkin so much. You're such a jerk. Nick said, I got Lions tickets in 95 because of the NFL blackout rule, so no home games. The Silverdome was too big. Crazy thinking about that nowadays. Isn't that crazy? There were blackouts. Mm-hmm. That was another conversation I had with my son. I was like, Jack, did you know at one point in time you couldn't watch Lions home games? And he, because he's so used to me. I'm the boy who cried wolf, right? I play so many jokes. And I was like, no, if that place didn't sell out, we couldn't watch.
And it was about like Thursday night or Friday night or something like that.
I think it was Friday at noon, right?
Had to sell out by or no TV.
It was like the greatest celebration when news came out like on Friday that the dealers bought the rest of the tickets.
Bill Brown Ford.
Bill Brown Ford bought the rest of the tickets.
Yep.
It was like the greatest day ever. John said, tell me when. John, come over next Wednesday. How's that? Come over next Wednesday. We're going to be here doing this again next Wednesday. He's got to get to bed. Good luck to your kid. Tell everybody. Do you want to tell everybody what your kid's doing?
No.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you what Mike's kid's doing.
No.
But good luck to Mike's kid just the same. Kirk, always nice to see you. Hubie, we'll be back here next week. I don't know what the game will be. I guess we're going to have to wait and see what the schedule is.
Yeah.
So maybe we won't be here Wednesday, but we'll be here.
Everybody checks their phones.
Probably for one. It'll probably be Stanley Cup, right? Because let's see.
The June 4th, the latest would be Game 7. So
what day is that?
That'd be
Starsdale.
Tuesday's the 4th.
Would be Game 7 Starsdale. So other than that, then you're taking at least till Saturday.
Till Saturday.
They keep promoting. It's supposed to start the 8th. Yeah,
the 8th, the finals.
All right. So that would be Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe we'll come over here next Saturday if you guys don't have anything going on.
I'm in Toronto.
Oh, you're in Toronto?
I'm old. I don't do anything.
All right. Yeah, if you guys don't have anything. So, John, how about that? Come over next Saturday. All right, John?
Right now, I'm in Toronto.
We're just sitting here bullshitting. All right. Mike, good luck. Get to bed, by the way. Gosh, damn, you got to pack. You got to fix lights. You got to make some food. See you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 5:30. Shep and I, with Shep and Sean and my boss, who means a lot to me. Seriously, she was a great boss. Rona joining us. Until then, see you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.
What the Puck, featuring Sean Belegian. Produced by Todd Losey and Blake Matrazek. Executive produced by Sean Belegian and Todd Losey. Theme song and incidental music by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe to What the Puck on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.